تعرفوا لما نتكلم عن معاناة النساء وبعدين يطلعوا هذول الناس اللي يقولوا بس مو كل الرجال، خلوهم يشوفوا هذا الفيديو.
Instead of saying we are dying, we are being beaten, we are being raped, we are not free, we are being forced to clarify and say no, we don't hate men. It's a tactic of the oppressor to force harmful definitions onto subversive movements, which derails it by forcing activists onto the defensive. So I would like to talk to the people that interrupt discussions about women's oppression to say not all men. And just a reminder to everyone, the origins of not all men becoming mainstream was because of this study, which literally doesn't even talk about men. When people are discussing women's struggles or behaviors that men do that we don't like, you don't have to say not all men. We know. What's really happening is you're making men the victims in a conversation that's about women's oppression. And the fact that most of you say that if we just added the word some before the word men, you wouldn't be upset, proves how little you actually care about this topic. You're derailing a conversation about how women are murdered for rejecting men because the word some wasn't included. Now, per your point of saying not all men, these conversations of asking men to acknowledge these harmful behaviors, it will give men no systemic oppression. If we say some, if we don't, it will not systemically set you back. If it did, men would have a curfew at this point. You'd be arrested for catcalling. Women would be allowed to carry weapons and men would not. That's the part this Not All Men crew is really missing. They call it demonizing men and punishing men when the only privilege potentially being taken away is that we're pushing for a society that won't tolerate those kinds of behaviors towards feminine people anymore. It's accountability for behaviors that for decades have gone uncorrected. And if you see that as a punishment, that's a lot more telling about you than it is about the movement. I understand the frustration of women assuming the worst in all men that they don't know. I'm sure that doesn't feel great. But women not assuming the worst could result in something far worse for us. And that's the part I really wish you'd hear. It's for our safety. It's so we don't become her, or all of these women, and all of the other women that have lost their lives due to femicide. It's for our safety. A misogynist on this app once said that a man's biggest fear is being rejected, which is a generalization, by the way. But a woman's biggest fear is being murdered by the man she rejected. A man's feelings are hurt, a woman is dead. I really hope you can see the differences in those two things. Until we're proven wrong, until we see a bunch of really shitty statistics go way the fuck down, this is how it's gonna be. We're gonna talk about harmful behaviors that men do towards feminine people all the time, asking for you to be an ally. And sometimes we're not gonna say some. Sometimes we're gonna say men sexually harassed 97% of young women in the UK. We're just asking that your takeaway from that isn't not all men, but instead is, oh shit, it's almost all women.